Okay, so today we are playing Dream Apart, which is uh, one of the two initial belonging outside belonging games, which is now called No Dice, No Master system. So the Dream Apart is the game about Jewish tale in the contested regions of Eastern Europe. And it is a fantastic historical setting. So it's at same vague point in the 18th century, but the supernatural elements are real. There are angels, demons, fairies, spirits of the dead, which represent the unseen world. So our first step is to create our style. So okay, I'm gonna relink the character keeper and the game folder. So if everyone opens to the third part of the character linker, we will see we can see the different choices that we want to make. So at this point, we are trying to create what our little community is like. So we have a list of blessings and curses, and now all of us start giving elements to the community, to what we have, what we don't have, the advantage, the disposition of the place, etc. We start to. So, if anyone has any ideas of nice things to have, I kind of think it might be interesting for there to be a haunting. Maybe that there was some kind of ancient battlefield or something like that nearby. So ghosts are something that often torments us and the communities around, maybe.
I like hauntings. Always down for a ghost.
I'm sorry, I think I'm just not sure what we're really doing right now. Like, I know that we're creating the shuttle, but I don't really know what we're adding here, I guess. I think I'm a little confused.
Okay, so on the, I think it's already on the second part of the play kit. We have to pick up as a group 2 blessings, so things that our shuttle has that stand it around the other communities, then 3 curses, and then we add some details. The game assumes that we'll draw, but instead we just talk it out and write it down. Yeah, we are on the third separator of the keeper.
I think I definitely want one of the curses to be a pogrom, if everyone's okay with that.
Okay, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
What's a pogrom again?
An anti-Jewish riot. It's when basically a bunch of goyim get together and try to kill us.
Oh, yay.
I say us very deliberately because I am Jewish in real life. So this is this is a little bit real for me.
Oh, man.
Okay, so then I think definitely we trust on you to calibrate how the blade grows then. So
No, that's okay. I will use my safety tools if we hit anything that's a little much for me, but I want everyone to have equal agency. Just because I'm Jewish in real life doesn't mean I want other people to feel like they can't play the game.
okay.
Okay.
I think a good blessing might be friends among the peasants then. Someone to warn us of what's coming.
I like that because then we can see that who is really behind the pogrom. The church, the nobles, both.
I think our friends could be like this family that got persecuted for some stupid reason, and we gave them shelter in the saddle for a while, and then they were able to go back to whatever city they live in, and now they almost won.
Yeah, I guess the idea is that these are the Polish, Ukrainian, Lithuanian territories that were contested by the superpowers of there. So maybe it could be some family that at some point when the troops were marching in, they for generations lived there or something. That will make sense.
Walter, is there something you want included? I don't think you've actually put anything forward yet.
Yeah, I'm still looking. I see under blessings like holy relics. That sounds like that could be interesting.
Definitely.
Cool, and we can decide what those are too. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And how, if we have more of a religious interpretation of them, or they are part of our cultural identity, that can also be fun to decide. Maybe a festival or sometime, or stories that we have around the relics themselves. That will be great.
And I guess we have one more curse to decide as well.
Yeah, I think maybe we should go for something mundane because we already have enough of the supernatural with the ghosts and the relics, so maybe something more mundane or apparently mundane.
I'm partial to a murder. I figure like a murder always adds motion to a one shot.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too.
Yeah, who has been murdered? I guess we can decide that now or after we make our characters, because there are some ties that we can select that maybe can hint about who might be involved or not.
Are we gonna flesh out the holy relics now, or
Yeah,
after we do character creation?
yeah. If someone has ideas, just throw it out there. I was thinking about what might be the most haunted place. Maybe a graveyard is a bit too obvious. So
I really liked the idea of some of the relics being things that were just carried between generations, like them being something like just children's toys that are very old that have been passed down for years and years and years that we just kind of keep in the community. That might be kind of cool if that's a thing people are into. Um,
yeah, that might be interesting. Maybe remnants of families that went along, or maybe childhood toys of people after after they become adults, small tokens. That might be interesting. And but that's quite a lot. So I guess they are probably kept in a very public place on the community, something big.
right, probably somewhere like the synagogue where you have a place that you gather, is what I was thinking. So it's kind of both holy and community based, but I don't want that to be necessarily the only thing that we're talking about in the relics section, and I definitely want everyone else to put in their relics.
Also, are we gonna do lines and veils before character creation?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea to do as soon as possible. So I'll say we add it on. Yeah, there it's already there. So everyone just add them to part on the notes for that. Even now, before we start doing details, might be wise to do that immediately. I was thinking maybe there's a big inn with stables that that when the Goyish peasants sought refuge on the Stel, that became their business, and it's kind of the Goyish center when people come through.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'm thinking we could pick one of the towns in the map to be like the town where the peasants that our friends live in and where this program is getting started. So we have something to refer to.
They have a map there, so maybe I don't know, maybe close to Vitersk or something like that.
We could just go with Vitersk, honestly.
So why don't we pick a Polish last name for the family that supports us?
Sure. Did we have other relics we wanted to add, or?
Walter, do you have any ideas?
No, nothing comes to mind.
For the Polish surname, we could go with Slaski.
Yeah, works great. Do you think we can have either some kind of barracks or fort or a manor house where the Russians occupying this territory can live?
Sure.
I'm not sure. I love the idea of us being very poorly defended. Because it's just gonna add to the drama when I think like when the thing gets real. Because like it could be like just a settlement that relies on social capital more than we do on actual defense.
Yeah, and the people which we traditionally have social capital on they also don't have a lot of defense capacity themselves. Yeah.
I guess as opposed to a manor, a lot of dense communities, apartment style buildings have existed for a very long time, and just because there are a lot of people in one place does not mean they're well defended. They're actually usually very easy to burn or harm for that reason. So if we had, a cluster of dense buildings or apartment style buildings, that would also kind of give the whole everyone's living together, but we're also not well defended, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we have a strong tradition of compact living because maybe the terrain is just too much wheelie and rocky and the thick forest. So whatever little farmland the guy can use, they have to exploit. So this leaves very little real estate for living. So we all live together in these big apartments.
So how much of the shadow do you need to flesh out since we're only going to use it for one session?
I mean, I think we are at the good point. We already have 3 parties that around the concept to go. So unless anyone has any idea that stands out, I think we are fine for a few scenes. Yeah, unless anyone has any ideas, let's move to the player characters. We can always come back and add something later. So, anyone has been eyeballing any of the playbooks?
I really like the matchmaker.
Yeah, the matchmaker is really fun. So maybe I'll go for the klezmer, unless anyone wants that one.
I'm not particularly attached to any of the playbooks, so if you have something that you're wanting to play, Walter, I would say go ahead, and I'll pick from whatever's left over.
The midwife looks interesting.
Then I guess I would like to play the scholar.
Oh, good mix, good mix.
So something I wanted to ask, if it's okay with everyone, is that because our game has a specific line, can we make it so that we do not look for or care for matrilineal heritage specifically?
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because that's one of my lines too, and that would help.
Do you need help with anything, Walter?
I'm just looking things over, trying to get oriented.
So next we have to pick one of the 6 playbooks that we start with. My recommendation is that you pick up one which you don't think your character is going to interact, because the first time your character has to interact, you have to give it away, so that you don't learn the moves and then have to immediately give it away. Maybe don't start something that you're gonna interact immediately on the first scene.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused what you mean.
So, for example, your character is the sage. So, if you pick texts and traditions, and on your first scene you are leading a ceremony, for example, you have to give it to another player. So, maybe you pick something that you maybe don't think you will be having your first scene on, like the market or the wild forest. But these they keep rotating anyway, but just, as a start point.
Okay.
Should we pick out all the desires for all the setting books now, or just for the ones we picked?
Just for the ones that we pick. So basically we'll only have 4 of them that have active desires.
Walter, did you have any particular part of the world you wanted to play?
Are these under the okay? Oh, this is under the world tab.
Yeah, Louise and Ludo grabbed Goyish World and Texts and Traditions, so I wanted to let you pick first because I'm pretty okay with whatever.
I guess I can take the Unseen World.
Would y'all prefer gossip and reputation or the market in active desires? Because I'm pretty open to either of those. I don't really want to play the forest.
I think gossip and reputation can be fun.
I traded a lot in gossip by being the matchmaker, so I'm hoping it makes it way the game.
Walter, have you decided on desires?
Desires? What is that? Where is that?
So it's what the world wants. So each of the world playbooks, they want something that they want to get from each interaction.
Uh,
Okay, so seems everyone is more or less ready. So let's go through order, introducing our characters, and then we each in turn, as we are finished with our introduction, we ask the playbook to the left the drama creating question that each has tied to them. So, Luis, why don't you introduce Zelda?
Sure. So Zelda is the matchmaker. She goes by she and her, and she has. I'm gonna change her look actually since I picked up the picture. She has laughing eyes, and she's a romantic with a sucker for a pretty face. I'm thinking she's like a very upbeat sort of person, likes getting in everyone's business, but not with ill intent. She just really likes making people happy, and she thinks the best way to do that is to get them in relationships. She's always shipping everyone with each other. Uh, she knows two useful people. One of them is a love-struck blacksmith called Yankel, and the other one is the Rebbetzin, which is the wife of the rabbi, and she's called Baila. Since one of the other things down the road for her is that she has true friends, I'm guessing that she's very close to the two of them. So she gets like gossip from a person in a position of power and gossip from a person who works in the market. So that's always good for what she's out to do. She desperately wants self-control because she gets carried away with her ideas and her fantasies, and she needs to be more down to earth. And she has true friends in abundance, even beyond the two that I've mentioned. She just is a very likable person. Her key relationships are a daughter called Henda, who's in love with a guy, and we'll figure out how that plays out. And my sister who knows my secret, and she's called Yutke. And I have no idea what that secret is, and I'm gonna think about it.
Were you the murderer?
Oh my, I hope not. That would be so intense.
Okay, so now you have to ask Ephraim how your relationship with them changed.
Yeah, so Ephraim, what changed between us recently?
I asked you for help with someone that I was in love with, and you told me that you didn't think we were a very good match.
Oh. Who were they? This person.
His name is Elijah.
Okay. Elijah's just not a good fit for you. He's. I'll figure out why he's not a good fit for you after I figure out who you are.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I'm done.
Okay, so next we have Walter with Tova.
Okay, yes. So I have Tova, the midwife, and let's see. So Tova is a pragmatist with calloused hands. She has witnessed a wolf cub being born to a woman. She has a remarkable sense of humor and an unflappable, or a remarkable sense of smell and an unflappable sense of humor. She has a lot of senses. Let's see. So she recently angered her child by vetoing a marriage arrangement. I should probably pick a name for the child. I haven't yet. Let's see. Key relationships: a city-educated doctor who resents Tova, and her daughter who has run away. So that might also have something to do with the vetoed marriage arrangement, I suppose. Let's see. Oh, okay. And then I need to choose choose one to ask to the left. Let's see. Okay. So then I guess I ask Zelda, what have you come to me for recently?
So are we gonna like wave away the matter that our wolf cub was born to a woman, or is this something that happened recently and we have to deal with? What do you think, Walter?
I mean, I hadn't thought about it yet. I hadn't like put thought into exactly what it means. I think maybe that'll come up in play.
Okay. So I think I've come to you recently. Uh, I think there was a contested birth at the Stado. Like,
What do you mean contested? Like who is the father?
I think Luis might have disconnected. He froze at least.
He's frozen.
Okay.
For me.
Let's see. So yeah, I think that's the last thing for my character. Yeah. I should probably pick names for the other characters.
If you need help with names, under each of the character keepers, there's some suggested names too, so you can just kind of poach those if that helps you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Maybe we should move on while we wait for, or I guess maybe we should just wait for Louise to get back before
Yeah,
we go on.
because-
What do you think,
yeah.
Lita?
Because then we cannot introduce our characters. Actually, but I hope Luis sees. Well, we can help you with names. Wait. Maybe he's coming back now. Okay, let's take a break. See you in 10 minutes.
Hey everyone, sorry about that.
No problem. So, Walter was asking you about how the birth was contested before the deceit.
I think there was a very public discussion about it, and it got pacified, but there's always that doubt in the air. Like everyone agreed not to talk about it, to not disrupt the peace anymore. But then I just had to know the truth.
What the what question were you answering?
What have I come to you for recently?
Okay, I didn't understand. What was your answer again?
I came to you to understand, like, to learn the truth about a contested birth.
Oh, a
Learn the
contested
truth.
birth. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What was contested about it?
They didn't know who the father was. Like, there was claim that it was one guy, but this other guy contested the pregnancy in public, and there was a big fight about it.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so is that still happening then? There's still a fight over who the father is?
I think it got settled. Everybody agreed not to talk about it anymore. They just believed who the mother said they were, but I didn't buy it, so I came to learn the truth.
Okay.
Not that you'll be able to tell from the baby, but I was hoping she would be more forthcoming with information when she's vulnerable and giving birth.
Oh, the mother had told me something. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe I seemed kind of shocked when you came and asked me that, and then I looked like maybe I was hiding something from you. I said, oh, it's just what everybody says.
All right.
Okay, so next. So I'll be playing Rivka. They go by Daytem, and they have a very opportunistic taking life. They have this apparently careless attitude of detachment, but actually they see so many few opportunities coming their way that they just figure out whatever the cost, I have to seize them. And they are a bit too pragmatic to be a true romantic, but they are always in the lookout for love. And pretty much everyone they meet, they wonder if they can be the ones to give them what they are seeking. And they are famous for their crafty hands that are pretty useful for meticulous work, or for some of their skills like picking pockets and gambling. But that's not what they left initially the chattel to do. They aspired to go down to the great imperial cities and become an opera singer, but some way along the way they got around with wrong crews, and they kept getting in schemes and different groups that opposed whoever happened to be in power, at the same time that they kept trying to get the favor of anyone of authority that they know. At some point, this just became their life, and now they are back to Chettle, and they still maintain this opportunistic point of view, and they believe that they have to be proactive on the threats against the community, and that most of the people, they don't really seem to understand what is going on or the dangers they apply. and this weird perception that they have, it comes from their main contacts in the outside world, a band of revolutionaries that is led by Todosva, a coal burner that hides insurgents, and the lieutenant of the local regiment, Irina of the 3rd Mounted Infantry. The key relationships that they have is with Savali, captain of the 3rd Regiment, the same regiment as Irina, which is the boy whose heart you broke that wants to kill you. So we have a local officer that has a strong case of unrequited love with Rivka. And then we have the long-suffering father, Shimel, the local carpenter, that just cannot understand what happened to Rivka, and they were against them leaving in the first place, and ever since they came back, it seems the problems only compound. Now I ask Tova, why don't you trust me?
So I actually have like an interesting proposal to make for you. So about a proposal actually. So so I chose that I angered my child by vetoing an arranged marriage. And I'm going to say, what do you think if that was going to be a marriage to Rivka? And I vetoed it because I think Rivka is like untrustworthy and too much of a like philanderer.
That actually makes sense because you were pretty sure that it was just as part of some scheme, and you are probably right.
Okay, excellent.
So finally, but not the least, we have Ephraim. So Nova, why don't you introduce us to them?
So Ephraim is the scholar, which means they are someone who studies Jewish law, essentially. They study law to both find spiritual guidance and guidance among the society on Earth that we have to deal with now. They have a pensive face. They always kind of look like they're thinking. Like they are thinking but stern about it. Their outlook is Maimonidean, which is always fun to say, which is an outlook that a lot of spiritual law is just metaphor that we need to interpret with the rules of the world around us, basically. It is not a secular tradition, but it's close. We must build a truly just society on Earth is what they believe will bring salvation to us on Earth as we live now. They are particularly skilled with family law and property law, and this is both Jewish and for the surrounding Goyim, which is why their temptations are ultimate knowledge and kind of despair and self-loathing, because they're trapped in this way where they both have to acknowledge and deny their spiritual desires to exist and also just crave to know more and more and more. And so my key relationships are that the people seek my legal opinions, and the one that I love ignores me. The one that I love is Elijah. And the people that seek my legal opinions are both Goyish and Jew, and they are often peasants who can't otherwise afford legal counsel. So I am going to ask Rivka, our wonderful troublemaker, what problem did I solve for you?
I think considering your expertise, I think the best fit is if my poor father, Shimel, he wanted to cast me out and disinherited me, and you actually stood by me and allowed me from being cast out of the community and remaining their sole heir, so that I don't face destitution and that I'm not cast by myself on the Gaiish world. The question is, why will you do that to Rivka? I mean, come on, they probably deserve it.
As someone who studies the spiritual law and someone who believes the way that I do, all Jews are entitled to a place in their home. We have spent far too long running from oppressors and people trying to harm us for us to cast out any allies we might have among ourselves. And if you wish to repent for your past transgressions and rejoin us, there is no reason we shouldn't trust you and welcome you back to the community.
Ephraim, do you think that Elijah ignores you because he disapproved the match, or did he disapprove the match because he ignores you?
The second one.
Okay. Yes, I'm just gonna be like, honey, he's just not into you. It's just not happening.
I mean, I find it hilarious that between the four of us, we have two marriages that ended up not happening.
Times are hard for lovers.
I didn't propose to Elijah. I just left him love letters every Shabbat.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Okay, so does anyone have an idea for a scene to start? I mean, we can look at our pieces of the world for ideas.
I would love to get the murder and or a haunting going from the start.
If we go with a haunting from the start, I think we can tie in the gossip and the unseen world at the same time, because from Walter's wonderful thing with Tova, we have a wolf cub that was just born to a woman in the shuttle, and that can't be covered up for very long.
Yeah, it's something that people would talk about.
Is that an okay direction for y'all?
Yeah. Okay. So before we start with the scene, remember the safety tools. Just if you need the X card, just interrupt whatever is happening on the shot or on audio. Just stop everything and script change if you want to slow down and finally curate a scene. Remember that even if we don't have a role for your party for that, we just do it on chat. Another thing, because each of us has different moves that they might activate based on what is happening on the scenes for the world. So just say in chat that you want to use a world move, and then the people that are talking on the scene, then they will give you an opening. And now for starts, think of a character that you have in your character playbook, either your main character or a relationship that you have there that might be present on or weird wanting scene.
One of my regular moves is poking my nose into other people's business, and I think I can start with that by poking into Tova's business and figure out what's to do with this wolf gut. If you think that's okay, Walter.
Sure. Yeah. So then, okay. So then Tova and Zelda are probably going to be in this scene to start.
Yeah. And where is Tova right now?
Mm. Maybe Tova is checking in on the well. So there's you also raised the issue that there's a woman with a contested birth, which is I suppose that could be the wolf cub woman.
Oh, I like that
Or is it-
idea. We could turn it around, like instead of one person claiming to be the father, it's like nobody wants to be the father of the wolf god.
Well, yeah. I mean, it says Ludo says we only have so much time for scenes, so maybe we should keep everything tight. Yeah, right. Because like someone probably claimed to be the father until the wolf cub was born, and then they're like, no, it's not mine.
I mean,
That makes
Alright.
sense.
Um,
Wow. Okay. So yeah, maybe I'm like there. Like nursing this woman. Yeah, she probably needs some like both physical and emotional support after everything that's happening to her. So I think I would be found in her presence, talking to her and nursing her back to strength.
I think Zelda strides in and she has a basket of buns or something, and she says, "Oh, hello, don't mind me, just dropping some food for the new mom and her midwife. How is everything, Tova? How's the babe?"
Oh well, I mean, I think the babe is well as can be expected, I suppose. It's a very this is a very unusual, of course. Both Golda, the mother, and I are very surprised by this turn of events, as is everyone here. I'm in shock, to tell you the truth. Still, myself, I can't believe that this happened. But look, you can see for yourself here. There's a wolf pup, um, over in the crib.
And she walks over to the crib and she says, "Oh my, really? What do you think it means?"
This I cannot say, but it is an omen of something. That is for sure. This did not happen as an accident, and this did not happen by anything in nature. This is something of the spirit world.
Just a sideline. I'm confused about what Ludo put in chat.
Uh,
Is
Yeah.
that a is that a setting move, Ludo?
Ephraim.
Yeah. Basically, because this is a question about tradition and what do, and that maybe Zelda is meddling too much into the privacy of the mother. Maybe this is a good time for Ephraim to enter the scene.
Just for rules clarity, is that one of the moves? Because I'm not seeing it.
It's a move from the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So texts and traditions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it in text and traditions. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, I don't either. It
Like,
Has
I
been
wonder how
deleted.
that
Introduce a debate about interpretations or practice.
Oh,
okay.
it wasn't
Yeah.
there yet.
Okay.
Okay,
It
so
makes sense that sometimes the character keeper just drops things.
yeah, I'm gonna. So you're part of the debate, Tova. Is that you think this is a spiritual thing?
Yes, I think it must be.
Hmm.
Clearly, this is not something that we would naturally expect to find. This is not something that. This is beyond my ability to deal with.
Would you have any opinion why on whether like it's good or it's bad, what it means?
And at this point, Ephraim will kind of walk in and answer this question ahead of Tova. Just sort of interrupt. It's clearly the cause of the demoness, and you should know this.
Oh, hello, Efraim. How's it going? You shouldn't really be talking about all the dreadful stuff next to a babe. I mean, it's just a little wolf. Look how cute it is. Look at its little paws.
Did you somehow forget that Lilith is the mother of all of the demons? And that for an unnatural occurrence like this,
Are you saying that this is a demon? This helpless pup child? It is still a child. It is still Golda's child.
I don't know that it was Golda's. She could very well have been possessed by Lilith to give birth to such a creature.
Tova was there the entire time. Did she look possessed?
She looked like a woman in labor. She looked in every way. Everything was normal until the head emerged, and it was covered in so much hair, and then it was a wolf pup's head, and out came the rest of the body. This, as you see.
Was she pregnant for a normal length of time?
Yes, everything was as expected.
This is deeply concerning.
And Herschel, the father, was very, very proud to be a new father, Golda's husband Herschel. And then, obviously, after seeing the child, pup, Herschel has just renounced all claims to it. It is a tragedy.
And Ephraim will kind of coil back a bit in disgust upon hearing that. And here they will suggest that her husband is a weak-willed fool who is abandoning his duties as a father and a member of this community. And this rant will be pretty lengthy. I don't want to actually act out the entire rant, but Ephraim will carry on for a solid 10 minutes about how awful her husband is for abandoning her in a time where she could very well have been possessed by the demon Lilith herself.
I think I'm going to trigger one of my weak moves as well and try to make an enemy out of you.
Okay.
I think one of my moves is alienate and make enemies out of people, and I'm gonna like listen to your rant and like be just exasperated at the end of it, and just be like, Oh, you just love the sound of your own voice, don't you, Ephraim? You just go on and on about demons, and in the next minute you're like, oh, but he didn't want to be the father of the demon baby. What do you want, really? It sounds like you just want to talk.
Ephraim will look at you and say absolutely nothing for a good minute. Just look at you. And they don't look shocked, they just look at you with distaste.
And I think she's gonna give another barb. She's gonna say, and you know what happens when you keep running your mouth instead of paying attention to other people, don't we, Ephraim? And she's referencing your courtship of Elijah.
And he'll nod and then turn so that they are only facing Tova and the wolf cub and the mother, so that you are no longer even part of the conversation to them. They're not even acknowledging you exist. Abandoning his wife is wrong, regardless. We can't abandon her, and that was never my suggestion.
And yet you say that this is a demon child, demon born. If that's true, then aren't you also saying that in fact the Herschel is not the father, but that Lilith is? That Lilith has placed this child in her womb?
This is not about responsibility for the pup. This is about responsibility for the family that he already has.
I
can imagine.
feel like this is a too hard of a conversation to have. Is Golda's present in the room, the mother, right? I think I'm imagining, is someone playing Golda? I'm imagining Golda must be like freaking out to hear this conversation or something.
I can take over her because I have no character in the scene. So Goldie just completely pale listening to this. She seems borderline, nearly fainting. So I don't know. I don't have a husband, and I don't even have a child.
Oh, Golda, but I think I have a move. I don't know how this works. I have something about comforting people are my moves.
You have listen compassionately on your regular moves.
Yeah. How would that get it? I mean, it seems like listening compassionately to Golda might be like a thing, but how does that move work then if I just do that?
The movie is doing it. It's normal
Okay.
PPT logic. You play
Yeah,
out of the
okay.
fiction, and it does.
Okay, yeah. I listen compassionately to Golda and to try and connect with her and soothe her for her difficulty and her losses.
Ephraim is right. This is supposedly to be about family, but there is no family. Well, there is a family, but it's about that scam and the demoness. Not me. I'm not part of any family. I'm alone.
Oh, Golda. I hold Golda's hand and say, you will make it through. There is going to be brightness in your life again. I'm so sorry for you, Golda. Tova turns to Ephraim and Zelda and says, I think maybe now is not the time to speak of these things. please, let's take this conversation outside and let Goldie get some rest.
Sure.
Where is her husband?
Well, I have not seen Herschel since he took his things and left the house yesterday. He seemed very upset. I do not know where he went.
And Ephraim will just nod and look down kind of solemnly there, very clearly disappointed in Herschel still. Murder! Okay, we can totally cut to murder. That's fine.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a good place to cut that scene.
So, who is our victim?
Maybe Herschel could be the victim, honestly. We've been talking about him so much.
Yeah, we could discover when we go looking for him that he's dead.
Yeah, that creates an interesting set of mysteries.
Where do we find the body? What if Rivka finds the body?
I was going to suggest just that Rivka is out coming from the inn drunk. So, and they are singing aloud in the middle of the night. And they see him lying in a ditch with a bottle on his side, and they lean. Hey, should not you be with your wife now? Hey, don't you have a little one coming? And they start rummaging through his pockets, and they notice that they are not breathing. And so, Nova, is that a world one?
That is, but I was not trying to paste it. I was actually just looking at it. Sorry.
Okay, so, and they notice that it's wrong. It's not, I mean, come on. They have seen enough brawls, and people ended up in the corners afterwards, but no bruises, no cuts. It's like life just went away, just like it was taken from him. And I mean, Rivka suddenly sobers a bit, livid, and she's there, the demoness. Oh no, wait, Lilith cannot be real. Is it? They can swear that they see a shadow moving.
Yeah, I'm going to play a move from the unseen world. Yes, you do see this shadow moving, and from up ahead of you, you hear a voice. You hear a woman's voice, and it says, "I always find justice. If you follow me, you will find yours." And the shadow moves away.
Rivka at this is completely out of their mind, and they bolt for the nearest exit. and they try to run into the first house that seems familiar. So which door they come knocking?
Well, a familiar house might be the house of Tova, since you had a thing with her daughter.
Yeah, I was actually, yeah, that could be cool. I was actually also thinking my daughter ran away, and maybe they know where Miri is. My daughter, maybe Rivka knows where Miri ran away to. Either of those is good. What do you think, Rifki? Where would you go?
I think they will go to Tova's place, and they don't knock the door. Instead, they make one hell of noise climbing to the second room of the apartment, second floor of the apartment, where Milf. How do you spell it? Mill's name, Mill's room is, but they are in such a state that they make a lot of noise, and Top is quite sure that someone is trying to enter their house in the middle of the night.
Wait, so Rivka thinks they're entering someone else's house?
Basically, Tova sees that someone is burgeoning into their house, trying to break into the second floor.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, is this like during the day, or is this like late at night? Do you think this wakes up Tova?
This is at night. This definitely awakes Tova.
Okay, yeah, I think this wakes up Tova, and so this is probably later that same evening then. And Tova is terrified, and is kind of like looking around for something. I think Tova has some children, but is maybe like a widower or something. I want to say that she doesn't have a maybe any other adults around the house, just like two younger children right now, and she's in a bit of a panic, and she's like trying to figure out what that sound is. She knows someone's coming up to the front. I think she's like moving the children. Like she gets them up and tries to move them out of the room. It's like the children's room where they were sleeping, where Rivka is unknowingly trying to break in, and then Tova's like terrified as what happens? How does Rivka finally get in?
So Rivka breaks in after tampering with the lock, and they are calling, Merle, 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 where are you? You have to get away.
It's you! And like a shoe flies in and at Rivka. What are you doing here? What are you doing here at this night? You scared the life out of me, Rivka.
Where is Merle, you monster? What did you do with her? And
I don't know where Merle is. She ran away.
What do you mean she ran away? And
I thought she ran to you. Don't you know where she is?
You can smell the stench of alcohol from Rivka. I mean, you can get the feeling that they have been drinking quite a lot after the mess up with the wedding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How do you not know where Merle is? I'm so terrified then. If you don't know where Merle is, she's just on her own somewhere. And you've been drinking. What's wrong with you, Rivka?
You are wrong with me. For once I had something right with Merle, and you came into it.
But I just, Rivka, this is, Merle is my eldest daughter. I just, it's too much for me to see her marrying you. Listen, look, you must help me find Merle, please. Please. Do you really not know where she is?
I don't. Of course I'll. You stupid woman. Of course I'll help you. But you need to know there are demons in the night. We cannot just go in like that.
Demons? So I have a weak move called trust someone you shouldn't. Does that help? Do you think that applies now? What if I just like buy into what you're saying and I just like something about the wolf pup? I think I'm just like, yes, there are demons around, and I'm just going to buy whatever Rivka says for right now.
Yes, a demon. It killed, and she's very dizzy, and she leans over the window, almost going to throw up as the adrenaline starts fading away. They are just a wreck. He's dead. He's dead, Tova.
Who? What are you talking about? Who has died?
Near the end, you have to get people. We cannot go alone.
What are you saying? Is it dangerous? What happened?
Yes, it's dangerous.
Come. If someone is hurt, we must go. Come, Rivka.
Herschel. You know Herschel, right? He should
Yes.
be here.
You have found Herschel?
Yes.
He is at the inn? Is he? You say
He's
he is
dead. He's
Oh
dead.
my god. This is horrible. Come. We must go see immediately. Come with me. And Tova gives Rivka like a wet cloth from the basin, pours some water into a little basin, and gives Tova a wet cloth to put on your forehead. Here, you must come too. It's like cold water washing over your face, Rivka, as Tova seeks to ease you a little bit.
So the scandal I want to introduce is that someone else sees you two go to, excuse me, it's annoying. Someone else, Jesus, what is that sound? I'm so sorry, y'all. That someone sees you two go out to get Herschel's body, and they believe that you two killed Herschel together because of what they saw, and that Tova is helping Rivka cover up their crime.
Can I have seen it? Can I be the person who saw it?
Sure. You can just introduce more terrifying, awful things. That's cool.
I'd sure love me some gossip, and it gives me an idea for another scene because I think Zelda's gonna go to Ephraim for help on this.
Nice.
So are we gonna see you two getting the body, or are we gonna cut away from that?
I think we cut out to Zelda sing as looming over the body and whispering.
Wait, what?
I think we cut to us leaving, then we see Zelda looking at us as we
Okay.
whisper over the body.
All right. And that's the scene. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna run off to Ephraim's house and just a lot of nightly visits in the shadow tonight. I'm gonna just bang on the door like ta 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 ta. Ephraim, open up, urgent.
And Ephraim will kind of slowly and groggily get up and go to the door. Clearly, you woke them up, and they will kind of gently open the door and say, "Oh, right," and then shut the door because of you.
This is not Zelda's first time at the rodeo. She's gonna shove her foot. Like she has a big, like sturdy boot that she uses to get around the shadow, and she shoves it in the door before you can close it. Says, "Oh no. You have to listen to what I'm gonna say to you because this is important."
Oh, I'm sorry. What have you done to deserve my compassion or caring at this hour?
Look, I know we're not big fans of each other, but we just saw a crime, and you're the person who wrote you when a crime happens, and I'm really flustered.
So you know that most legal matters require some degree of confidentiality, right? Because the amount that you run your mouth makes it very hard for me to handle any sort of crime you're going to report.
I'm sorry, Ludo, could you mute yourself, please?
Oh, sorry.
Because the amount that you run your mouth makes it hard for me to handle any crime you could report.
Oh, you always blabbing about your law stuff. I'll keep my mouth shut about this one. Trust me, I don't want to have any part in this. This is just a mess.
If you don't want to have any part of it, you could just shut up.
Oh my God, do you not want people punished for killing other people?
Just come in, we'll talk.
Fine, I was trying to do that the whole time, and she's just like...
Well,
Okay.
yes, because you don't understand the word no.
Yeah, whatever. So, you have any tea or cookies or something? I really need to get my blood sugar back up.
Ephraim will shut the door, pull out a seat at their kitchen table, very, very politely, kind of do an overly obnoxious bow as they pull out the seat for you. Give me one moment. I wasn't prepared for a midnight guest. And they'll gather a couple of small things that you could just snack on and put a glass of water in front of you and say, the tea will take a minute, but you could use this.
Yeah, she's just gobbling up those cookies and fanning herself with her hand, and she says, okay. So I'm just going to cut to the chase. I think Tova and Rivka killed someone. I think they killed Herschel.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that with actual information involved? Because I need to know why you're making this accusation and what you saw exactly.
You're such... I can't believe I have to deal with you.
Look,
I saw the
if you want
body.
me to be able to help, you have to tell me everything.
Fine. I saw Herschel's body. I saw Tova and Rivka whispering over it, and then they carried the body off. Is that enough for you? Did they carry the body off? They did.
Are you sure it wasn't Tova just requiring assistance moving someone who needed medical care?
Oh, I've seen dead people and I've seen sick people. Herschel was dead.
How close were you to be able to determine that?
I could get the stench from where I was. That's how close I was.
It smelled like a body that had been dead for a while?
Well, I don't know the degrees of smell from a body. I just know that it didn't smell right.
Well, it's going to take at least several days before you smell a person rotting, so again, that I'm not sure what Tova and Rivka had to do with this, but I think maybe it might be a little bit hasty to say that they did it.
Oh, so we're just gonna let them sneak around in the night, whispering over dead bodies, not do anything about it?
That's not what I said, but feel free to take we should get more information as doing nothing as often as you want, because at least then I don't have to deal with you.
I'm a little confused. Did Ephraim just propose that we investigate rather than just jump into a conclusion? Was that it?
Yes, Ephraim was proposing that we investigate rather than jumping to conclusions, and in fact, I will insist on contentiously debating a minor point about that. Ephraim will continue to insist that waiting because we don't have enough information is not at all the same as waiting as doing nothing, and we'll keep doing this over and over until you just either concede or acknowledge it and move on.
Well, luckily enough, one of my regular moves is cave to someone's demands. So I think Zelda just gonna listen to you go on and on for another time, and then she's just gonna go, "Okay, fine, we do it your way, Ephraim, like always."
Well, your way is a bit too messy for my tastes. If neither of them are guilty, then we've solved nothing and harmed two innocent people.
Well, if they both are guilty and we do nothing, then two murders get away. But I'm like, my conscience is clean. I wash my hands of this matter. I'm just gonna do what you tell me to do, and then when it blows up in our faces, I'll say that it was your fault, and everything will be okay.
My first request is that you stop talking until I get sleep. Thank you. Bye. Leave. You can take the food that you want with you. I don't care anymore. It's 2 a.m. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm leaving as she's putting cookies in a little handkerchief and wrapping them up, and then like she walks back and she picks up a I don't know, I'm thinking of something that could just be lying around the kitchen that she's gonna take. And I need some sugar as well. She's gonna just take like a whole bowl of sugar with her. And yeah, I might have her accidentally encounter the unseen world as well, just to harp on the theme some more. I think as she's leaving the house, she's just like rambling to herself, like, "Oh, that good for nothing person. They just keep pushing my buttons every single time. I try to help people, and they just make trouble for me. Why can't anyone just listen to me? I always know what's right. I just want to do what's best for everyone." And she's just like rambling until she sees something, which is up to Walter, I guess, because he's handling Unseen World.
Okay. Yeah, you so you're walking back at night from Ephraim's house.
Yeah.
And you see like a shadowy form sort of walk across the alley, and you can't make out who it is. You don't recognize the way they walk or the shape of the figure, and they're completely in darkness. And then your nostrils are filled with that scent, that scent that you smelled when you witnessed Herschel's body being carried off by Rivka and Tova.
And I think Zelda doesn't realize it at first. She just says, "Who is there? Out for a late night walk, are we?"
So the shadowy figure has disappeared around a corner, and from around that corner, you hear this half-whispered voice, or maybe it's just in your head. You're not sure where it's coming from. and it says, "True love is closer than you think."
Oh, she's just like frozen in shock at this, and she's just like slowly walking towards the bend that the shadow turned to, and she says, "What did you say?"
It is silent. Now you're wondering if it's if you heard it at all, or if you just imagined everything.
And yeah, she's just like shakes her head and like hurries back home, haunted with thoughts of what that could mean. So what's up next?
I think Tova and Rivka probably they just left the body somewhere and they went to look for Merle.
So, Ephraim definitely is going to pay Tova a midnight visit too.
Yeah, I think it's still late enough at night that that Tova and Rivka just left the body in sort of like I don't know, in like a place near Tova's house, kind of like realizing that, you know, there's like they normally Tova would say take it to the I think normally a dead body would go to the person's home, but Tova um, doesn't want to disturb Golda, who's already disturbed enough about this and wants to wait till morning to tell Golda. And the smell of this body is very strange and very strong. And so Tova is just like, well, let's just like leave this in my shed until tomorrow morning, and then we can tell everyone and show the body. So Rivka and Tova put the body in like a shed behind Tova's home.
All right. So when was the last time you saw Merle?
I well, we got in this argument. She was very upset that I forbid her from marrying you, and then she was just left, and I haven't seen her since. This was a few days ago now. I'm really worried. I thought she was with you. I thought you would know where she was. I didn't know what happened. It was horrible of me to think that of her. I just I suppose I was too unreasonable, and I just feel so ashamed that I was so hard on Merle. I didn't realize how much it affected her. Clearly, she's just really distraught by this and destroyed by this.
Merle.
Tova sits on the ground and starts crying. I I just don't understand what's happening. Merle is left. Golda's given birth to a pup. Herschel's murdered or dead. I don't know what happened to him. This is this is too much. Maybe it's all a sign that I'm failing at take caring for this community. I my one calling is to show people compassion and to bring birth new life into this world, and look what's happening. It's like everything I touch is cursed now. What have I done? What have I done? Rivka, what's wrong? What have I done?
So Rivka sits next to Tova, and looking down, they start singing an old children's rhyme that they knew that it was Merle's favorite. So they start singing it in lieu of a response to Tova, trying to reassure her that nothing is really lost, that her child still loves her, and that if she's running away, it's because it hurts too much to be around them after what they did.
Thank you, Rivka.
Yeah, I mean, you are an idiot for what you did to your own child, but that's nothing new among us, is it really? Yeah, I have my own dose of complaints, but Merce still loves you, and she will not forgive if I was mean to you when you were down, especially in your moment of weakness. Okay, so I want to ask, what are you thinking about right now?
Tova turns to you and says, I think this wolf pup being born to Golda, I think it's a warning. It must be a warning to us of some kind. Ephraim would know. Ephraim was trying to tell us something yesterday when I was with Golda and Zelda, but I wasn't listening. We should. What is that? I hear knocking at the door. Let me go see who that is. Hello, Ephraim?
Good evening, Tova. I wanted to talk to you before Zelda got a chance to run her mouth any further. She came to report to me that she saw you and Rivka with Herschel's body. And I don't believe the rest of what she told me, so I wanted to talk to you.
Tova turns around as though to reveal someone in the room, and there's just it is just the Tova's kitchen area and main room with the dinner table, and there's an empty chair there, but there was no one else there, and Tova looks a bit surprised for a moment, and then says, yes. Well, yes, I must show you something. Come with me." And she takes Ephraim around to the shed. And you can, as you approach the shed, even before it is opened, this stench of death and perhaps something unnatural fills your senses. And Tova opens the door, and there inside is Herschel's body.
Okay. And here Ephraim will put a hand on Zelda's shoulder. And not Zelda, gosh, on Tova's shoulder. And have you reported this to the rabbi?
No. I just found him and brought him here. Rivka helped me carry him here. Yes, that is a good idea. We should go and speak to the rabbi.
Well, we can't do much about how much decay is already here. We can at least get him properly cremated and deliver the ashes to Golda.
Oh, poor Golda. And for them to have last spoken in such harsh words and under such horrible circumstances. This is the worst thing for Golda. I feel so badly for her. I don't know how I'm going to tell her this.
Well, at some point we'll get there. And we'll talk to her together, alright? I won't let you do that by yourself. I won't leave you alone. Rivka can be there too. Just don't bring Zelda.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ephraim.
Of course. So we should definitely do those things, but I don't think we need necessarily a scene for that.
Yeah.
Was
So-
there something? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if anyone had any idea.
I would love to get the guy involved, because I have like a daughter who wants to marry, who's in love with a guy. I have we have the pogrom thing happening.
Yeah. There's also a doctor that resents Tova, a city-educated doctor that resents Tova. Maybe that doctor is a goy that your daughter is in love with.
Oh, I thought the doctor was one of us. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
mean-
think that hasn't been established.
It hasn't, so we can make it so that the doctor's Goyim. And it also would put them in a precarious place where most of the community doesn't trust the city-educated doctor, which would make them resent Tova more because we trust some lowly midwife who's never been properly trained more than a Goy doctor with a degree.
I'm curious about what Zelda's secret is. I have an idea for it, but I was wondering if anybody has something much more spicy. My idea is that she doesn't entirely disapprove of Henda's love. She thinks it's okay for her to get involved with a guy.
So your secret's that you're encouraging your daughter.
Yeah, I think I'm like, just follow your heart. Like, if this guy loves you and you love him, then it shouldn't matter whether he's Jewish or not. But I don't know how to bring that into play.
So to try and, I don't know, maybe. No, never mind.
This might be a time to use the world moves.
I think Luis, you should do one of the Goyish world moves.
Okay. I'm gonna manifest threats of persecution, exploitation, expulsion, or violence. I'm gonna give us the first indication that the pogrom is forming. I think one of the Slaskis is gonna come visit the Shtetl. Let me just pick up a name for them. They're Polish, right? So Philippa Slaski. I think she's the eldest daughter of this family. And she comes into the village, the Shtetl, and she's like, she leaves her horse at a stable. The family has a horse. And she looks for Zelda. Oh, I think my daughter Henda is in love with her. I think she's in love with Philippa Slaski. And so she comes to my house, and I think someone's gonna need to play her, so I don't just keep narrating everything.
Nova, did you want to play Philippa?
If you are willing to, I will definitely let you take that.
Okay, so Philippa, can you just refresh me again? So Philippa is a well-off person from the Goyam town.
I wouldn't say well off. She's just one of our peasant friends among the peasants.
Oh, right. Okay, yes. They were the family that we helped. Is that right? And we established that early on. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's right. Okay, the Schlotsky family, we supported them, and uh, they came to live with us, and then something else happened, right? Let's see. They also built inn and stables. Is that right? Okay, yeah. Okay. So they like maybe is she like maybe she's like the one of the elder daughters in that family that like runs the inn and stables then. Does that sound about right?
No, she doesn't actually live in the Shadow.
Oh, they built the inn and stables in the shtetl, but then they live out of town in the or they live out in the rest of the town outside the shtetl.
I was picturing the Shadow as like not a. Am I picturing it wrong? Is it in the middle of a village?
The shtetl is its own village. But you can have a shtetl be basically like a segment of another place, because a lot of Jewish history is honestly that we are in tiny, crowded ghetto spaces that are carved out from other places if they're not their own standing villages. So I think either works depending on what angle you want to hit with that. If you want it to be that we are kind of a separated segment from the rest of a town, we can have that very easily so that we have more direct interaction with others if you want. If that works.
Okay, sure. I was always picturing the Shadow as like this small village in the middle of the woods.
I was kind of picturing it that way too, and then there's like another town, relatively close by that's like the Goyam town, which is maybe like a larger place with and there's a market somewhere as well. Is the market is in the shtetl? That's the idea. Just to get oriented.
Yeah, the shtetl definitely has its own market. It's a complete village on its own. They just have interactions with the outside world, however you want to set them up, basically.
Okay, cool.
I think it's fine.
I think that's enough to go on. So yeah, I could. So I will be Philippa Schlotsky, and Philippa will arrive at Zelda's house. And who is your daughter that is in love with Philippa?
She's called Henda.
Henda.
And I think she's not in the house right now, just so we don't have to put another character here. Just right now, I can talk to Philippa in private a bit.
Okay.
I think I welcome Philippa. I say, "Oh dear, so good of you to visit us. Come in, come in."
Oh, Zelda, it's so good to see you again. It's been too long.
Oh yes.
And how is Henda? Is Henda here?
Oh no, she's off to market. She's getting me some stuff. What a good daughter I have. Let's sit down. Sit down. We can talk. We can catch up. How is life over at your village?
Well, that's actually what I came here to talk to you about. So there's some people have been talking about some people don't appreciate the shtetl being here. There's talk that there are strange activity going on. There's even a rumor came in yesterday that a wolf pup had been born to someone here, and it just got people talking about how there's demonic forces at work here. And anyway, I mean, it's all nonsense, of course, but there are some people that are getting worked up in town, and I fear somewhat for the safety of people here. I just wanted to come and let someone know that that there are some angry voices in town talking about your community here.
Just a side note, I removed my name from the Goyish World setting book since I'm actively dealing with it now. So somebody else wants to pick that up.
Sure.
I think Zelda says. Let me just check my moves and see if I can leverage anything here. Oh, dearie, people are always talking mean rumors about us. You can believe anything they say. You know how it is. We'll
Yes,
get by.
but this is different. Zelda, you must listen to me. This is different this time. I mean, they had a meeting last night. I wasn't there, but I hear that there were many angry voices and that I don't know. It just feels like a little bit of a mob mentality. You know how it is. Someone gets angry and someone else gets angry, and with enough voices, nobody feels like they have to take responsibility. I just feel like just maybe be careful for a while until things settle down.
Well, we're always careful, dear. I'll talk about it with the people in charge. We'll see if it's something really needed to worry about. Is your family holding out well? Do you need anything?
Oh, well, yes, we're fine. It's you know, it's the things have been a little bit slow for us, but we think that the season when we'll get more contracting to build and to is going to come along. We're yeah, we think things will pick up. Things are a little slow for us right now, but we have enough to get by. You know how it is.
Oh yes, yes. At least we're in a good enough place. I don't think we need to drag out the scene much longer. I think Hannah can just like walk in and then they talk to each other, and I ship them crazily off in my little mom corner.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to get the information that like people are going to turn on us, so I can use it. Right. So Rivka ran away last night, right? What happened after that?
I guess that after that she went to a place where they could feel safe. The thing is, where could they feel safe in the village? I wonder. Actually, I think that they went to meet Tedosa, the coal burner that takes in revolutionaries, because they assumed, well, this is the place that Merle probably came through, at least to get support to whatever they were going. So I think Rivka is going to talk with Toja. So if anyone wants to take Toja, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. So let's see, a good move to us in this case. Okay, so I'm gonna find one of your contacts in an unexpected place. So Rivka is, as the dawn starts in, they are bundling around on the woods between communities, and they see the typical sound of saws and axes as the people are using the first light to go around and look for a lumber that they can burn for coal, and they can already feel the thick air it is polluted by this messy, dirty craft of this community that lives just as isolated as they themselves do. And they realize, well, if someone knows about Merle, it's them. And they approach them hoping to, to present themselves a bit better than this half-old mess that they look as.
I think I'm actually not equipped to do this right now. I'm sorry.
I mean, you can take Goyish moves and someone else takes over her.
Yeah, I think that would be better for me.
Yeah. So who wants to take over the revolutionary contact? The coal burner.
I don't think I've played any other character besides my own until now.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I want just to ask. I'm okay with that, but you did suggest that maybe Merle would be related to this situation as well. So I just want to throw out that if it's possible Merle would come in, then well, actually, I guess Nova could also possibly play Merle. I was just thinking if Merle came in, like, I would not want to play.
I think that's actually good that Merle also be in the scene. That's true. Walter raises a good point.
So Nova, would you be okay with that? Because then that would be I wouldn't have to worry about either role.
Yeah, that would be fine. I'm just a little bit out of it. That was all. I got up really early for me and went to bed really late for me. So I'm
okay. We should wrap up in 1 or 2 scenes then, so you can rest. Okay, so what do they find there between the two of you?
What is this that you're asking? Oh, if Merle's going to be there. Okay, so yeah, part of the reason I wanted to bring it up was when Louise took Todoza is that I was thinking maybe it makes more sense for me, instead of playing both my daughter and Tova and Tova's daughter, maybe I could play Todoza and Louise Merle. I don't know if that makes more sense. Just throwing that out.
Yeah, that's good. That's good if you are okay with it.
All right.
Although, if you were like totally into playing Todoza,
No.
I didn't want to like take that away from you. I just wanted to like sort out. Okay.
I like Merle.
Okay, cool.
Is she gonna be in the scene right away, or is she gonna come in?
I guess we can pass around NPCs like the secondary characters too, right? Like I suppose they don't always have to be played by the same person.
I'm definitely fine with passing around NPCs.
Okay.
So.
Then. All right. Well, now I'm confusing myself. Now I'm thinking maybe I should play Merle after all. I don't know. I'll let Louise. You decide who you want to play. Never mind me.
I'm fine either way. I think like, given the pace, I don't think Merle is ever gonna come home in the session.
Possibly, yeah. That's a good point. Maybe that's more interesting anyway.
I feel like you should play her because you know how your daughter is like. I would just like improvise the character from scratch.
Okay. Okay, we'll go with that. How about we just start the scene with Rivka and Todos again. Yeah. All right.
So Theodosius hides this band of revolutionaries and also leads them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you come in. Theodosius there. What are their pronouns?
She, her.
Okay. And she's doing her thing, burning coals. And she's like, I'm sorry if I'm missing anything about what you framed before. I also woke up a little early.
No, we did not frame much.
Okay.
Only their job. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, and she's like, well, look what the cat dragged in. You're looking a little down on your luck, Rivka. Do you have a rough night?
Don't even get me started. So, how's everything? Did you have any interesting visits lately?
Oh, you sure seem like a person who knows the right questions to ask. I might have. I have all sorts of people who wants to see me burning coal these days.
Okay, I want to complicate the situation and I want to ask, how have I earned your ire?
So good. I think you got drunk and this is in the same village as every other guy lives, right?
Kindish. It's the same village, but the coal burners, because of their industry, live apart of other people.
Okay. Right. I think the last time you were here, you were staying at her house and you got drunk at the bar and you said more than you should about the people who live in Todosha's shop. And she says, "So why do you want to know about who's here? Do you want to leak any more information?"
As if ever, you know that I am completely trustworthy. I mean, come on. I always make up for any of my, let's say, indulgences.
There are certain things you can't make up for, Rivka. If you cross the line too far, there's no crossing it back. We're not playing games here. You need to take this seriously.
Fine, fine. What? You'll need something stolen from the Russian regiment?
Hmm. Well, always, that's just like an irrelevant question for me. There's always something to be earned by taking from the Russians. Do you have any ideas on what you could give me? So I could trust you again.
How about this? How about I tell you about a local crime that you can pin on the Russians to rally up support against them?
It's like Ephraim told Zelda not to gossip, but everyone is gossiping about this crime. Everyone is just blabbing their mouth about it. She says, "Ah, a crime, huh? What kind of crime are we talking here? Do you want me to tell people that the Russians stole a chicken?"
No, I want to tell you that there was a murder and it was a Russian soldier that did it. That should turn up a lot of people against them.
Yeah, she does raise her eyebrows at that. She says, "Murder in the shadow. Well, that's very serious. Because we've been hearing things and people are looking for someone to vent their frustration on. And I was going to tell you that things might get spicy there."
Well, I would prefer if turn people against the Russians than instead of the Jews.
Yes, that's always the better option. Well. So do you have anything that I could actually use as proof?
Well, I was thinking maybe stealing some of their weapons or uniforms and have it someone trustworthy, some Goyish revolutionary that is tough in the community to find this evidence.
Sure. Yeah, that can be arranged. Okay, Rivka, I know I'm going to regret this, but yeah, come on in, come inside. You and your plans. And she just like opens the side door for you.
Okay, before they go through, they give a last side look and they want to be sure that they are not being played themselves. And I ask you, What are you thinking about?
She's thinking about how she's losing her grasp on her revolutionaries. Like people are either veering too far into aggression where they just want to beat up Russians even if they're not part of the army, and others are just like losing their flame. Like the revolution is just dying out and she needs to get them rallied behind a cause before it's too late. That's why she's willing to trust you even though you're like a wild card.
So Rivka just gives a knowing smirk as they realize that they are holding more aces than they knew, and they enter.
So if you're okay with this going a little bit wrong, I
yes.
would like to introduce a Goyish world threat using the move Manifest Threats of Persecution, Exploitation, Expulsion, or Violence. If you don't do a good job convincing them here, not only do we have the initial pogrom brewing, but their violent revolutionaries will figure it out and join that pogrom.
Yikes.
What a way to end up this session. Let's see how it goes.
Can I propose that we have a little break?
Yeah, let's have a break, then go for the wrap up. 5 minutes.
Okay. Maybe to help us like think for the 5 minutes about it. Is there like a particular scene that we really want to hit to try and wrap this up?
I think we want to wrap up this question and then go back to the supernatural elements for the last time, and end up the two things colliding maybe.
So like what's happening with the framing the Russians and the pogrom, and then the second scene would be around the supernatural thing with Herschel and the wolf pup. Okay.
I kind of want to see the Shadows survive the pogrom because of something with that wolf cub, if that's okay with y'all.
Oh my god, that's the perfect ending. Yeah, let's aim for that.
Nice, I love it.
Okay, awesome. See you in 5.
Yeah.
So I had a thought that some element we might want to introduce is this wolf pup interacting with the childhood toys.
Yeah, I was thinking that to be the wolf cup and the relics, maybe the wolf pup understanding that they are part of this community.
Sorry, I'm here now.
Hi, Nova.
Hey,
We were just mentioning that I don't know if you heard. We were just mentioning that maybe something to work into a scene is something about the wolf pup playing with the childhood toy relics.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
okay, so how we move forward to wrap on this scene?
Well, I think we do need to see Merle.
Yeah. So Merle time.
Is maybe Merle is and the wait. Well, we wanted to do we have time for that? I mean, we don't necessarily need to get to Merle. That could just be in the background. It sounds like we have a lot of other things to get to, and we don't have a whole lot of time. Maybe we should go right to the Russian thing if we really want to do that.
Yeah, we shall move to the escalation. Then after that we have the scene with the wolf cup wrapping it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So who wants to set up the state of the affairs after the escalation? Nova, maybe.
I set up the initial threat with the Goyish world just now, so maybe we could use something else. Like we could use the unseen world here to additionally manipulate it. Like we can reveal something hidden that kind of forces the Goyish world into a bad position where they move too quickly or something like that.
Yeah, maybe tempt someone with a half-heard whisper. Maybe you get the feeling that the Goyish are being pressured to act with only half-truths.
That's entirely up to Walter, though, if you want to play it that way.
Yeah, I like that. That's an interesting idea. So maybe I'm not sure how we want to introduce that into the scene, though. Does someone else have an idea for that?
Not really.
Oh, that wolf pup rumor, maybe. Oh, Ludo.
Yeah, they crashed.
Yeah, maybe that rumor spread more. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how we can just escalate that. We can also just...
The demons knocked Ludo out of the call.
Yeah. We can also just have it that we don't have to have a reason for violence. People can just end up being violent because they were looking for an outlet for their frustration and showed up. We don't have to actually reason it out if that's a bit hard right now.
Yeah, I disconnected there for a second.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think we need to dwell too much on the reason for it. It might just be like it could be maybe what if someone in the Goyim town has a grievance right now, and they're sparking everybody, talking about, oh, this is such a problem, and it's just one person with a grievance, and then and then maybe there's something supernatural that can interact with that person. But what does that look like in the shtetl? Is maybe the question. What scene would we want to set?
I think kind of driving back the mob would be the scene I'd want to see.
Okay.
Talking them down, whatever way that ends up happening. Either it can be the unseen world interacting with it, or something else pulling, or our characters. Ephraim's a noisy little bastard. It's fine.
So how about this for the scene? How about there's one sort of secondary character, a goyim who's like leading the mob, right? Does that seem like a good way to set the scene? And then we can like put a face on the mob for interacting with?
Sure, I would
Yeah,
love
sure.
it if it was. The doctor's a good one. It could also be the Russian guy who wants to kill Rivka.
Maybe both. And the secret to solving this is turning the Polish against the Russians.
Yeah, we can do that. That can be a thing that the shuttle is forced to deal with. Is kind of pushing that side so that they're not targeting us anymore.
Yeah, and maybe actually I like it's an interesting idea that maybe the doctor somehow can tie everything together a little bit as well. If the doctor is a goyim, maybe the doctor somehow will have an interaction with this sort of whoop pup being born as well, and that'll sort of tie the two events together somehow.
I don't think we need to pull all the strings. I think if we try, we're just gonna go crazy. So I don't mind having my secret being ignored. Just like, let's just use what we have and try to get to a satisfactory conclusion.
Yeah. So we open to a scene where the Goyish are gathered, and the 3rd Mounted Infantry Regiment is gathered at the borders of the community to supposedly to keep order, but it's pretty obvious that the visage of the uniforms and the guns are just there to rile people even up as the doctor addresses the people gathered. I think the doctor was Louis, right? I think you should take control over him.
Yeah, I didn't. I could, but I never said it. Dr. Zalman.
And I can pull Ephraim into this if we want to have Ephraim at the forefront of this scene too.
Yeah. So this is the doctor who resents Tova.
Actually, I have an alternative suggestion. So that Zelda can be in the scene, maybe Walter plays the doctor, I played the Russians, and Nova plays Ephraim. Maybe. Does this work?
Okay.
We can also have Tova in the scene if you can handle more than one character in a scene.
I was actually thinking. Yeah, how about we just start with Tova out of this scene and maybe yeah, I don't know. I have too many ideas in my head. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I'll start by playing the doctor. We'll just see what happens.
I think we should just get started. Otherwise, we're going to be planning. Yeah. So I think the doctor should speak first.
Okay.
So it's
All
a
right.
mob and a counter mob.
So and the okay, so there's like the a bunch of people show up with like, I don't know, pitchforks and and clubs in their hands, and there's a kind of a crowd of rowdy people, and they're being led by a relatively well-dressed man who you recognize as the doctor. And and then there's also the army. Now the army is different from the mob, right? The army is kind of there to keep order on things, yeah. And the doctor, who I feel like the doctor had a name and it's been lost track of.
It's Zalman.
Zelman? Okay. That's right. I wrote it down. Thank you. So yeah, Zelman is saying there are unnatural forces here in this shtetl. We have all heard the story that there has been a wolf pup born to a woman here. And Tova refuses to let me see this woman and examine this wolf pup, and clearly they are trying to hide something, and this cannot stand. There is evil afoot here.
I'm going to use one of my strong moves here, in order to persuade someone with reason and learning. And that would be the doctor. So Ephraim is kind of heading up the people that are trying to defend the shtetl, and they will speak back and state, "What right do you have to be in our village, in our affairs? It's not that we are keeping a secret from you. It is that we have our own doctors. We have our own community. Your services are more needed by your community than ours. Why should we take you away from the people who need you most?"
Well, first of all, you do not have doctors. Tova has no training. This is just witchcraft that she is using. And secondly, when horrible things start befalling the communities around us, it affects everyone. This is a horrible omen and a bad sign, and this is clearly a sign that this is no good.
And you, a doctor who swore to help those around you, comes to our doorstep bearing clubs and violence to solve a problem? Exactly. I find it strange that you couldn't have just come to council to resolve this in a peaceful way. Why do you have to bring a mob behind you if all you wish to do is help? That doesn't look like help. That looks like a lot of patients for you to treat.
Selman, he sort of looks a little bit taken aback and slightly ashamed, but then he realizes he has this mob behind him that he has been swept up with the anger of, and he says, now listen here. This is very serious. We demand to be taken to this wolf pup child and its family, and so we can see for ourselves what this danger is.
What are you talking about? No such thing Do you really believe that? Do you believe that a wolf pup could be born to a human? Is that how far your medical degree takes you? Is that really what this is about? A rumor and hearsay, and you forget all of the world's natural laws?
If what you say is true, then show us this newborn child that is completely normal and normally formed. Show us this beautiful newborn child that you have that is not a wolf pup, and then we will be satisfied and we can leave.
There's several newborns at any given time. I'm sure Tova can show you newborns. It is
Very well.
Really a thing that you have to do, though. I don't understand why you had to just bring a mob instead of, I don't know, asking normally and accepting that maybe sometimes we don't need your help.
So I just have, out of character, have a question about, like, I mean, Ephraim's using a move, so I feel like I should let this land. So, but does it deflate the whole scene too quickly if I'm just like, oh, okay,
oh no,
now.
That's the duration.
I think I can take over the Goetia word since Nova is interacting directly now.
Yes, please do.
I'm gonna Judah, do our favorite one. I'm gonna manifest more threats. I think the army is gonna pressure the mob into keep doing it. And
Yeah.
like I think like an official is gonna step forward and back Zalman or take over for him.
Yeah. So as the doctor seems to be losing the support of the mob, and the mob is threatening to disperse, the mobs finds themselves backing towards an advancing regiment that is softly pressing them to turn over in the direction of the stele instead of dispersing as they will do otherwise. And from the middle of the regiment, we can see the tall, elegant figure of Captain Savelli as he pats gently his mustache. He looks down at the doctor. I should have expected better from mere peasants. What nonsense about wolf cups is this? Yo, scholar, I am aware that there has been an incident in your place, a murder, and I know that you have been hosting non-criminals in your community.
And Ephraim will just kind of tilt his head, and will immediately kind of just, I harbor no known criminals of any sort, and I have yet to see any criminals in our Stell. Why are you so convinced? Do you have evidence that we do not? I would love to see what evidence you have. What troubles you here?
We want to procure said evidence, but I don't want unnecessary abstractions. I have heard that even among your people, they suspect this Rivka of being involved on a murder that cannot be accepted. Surrender this Rivka, and we'll have no need to look around for evidence.
I'm sorry, did you just ask me to turn over someone who has no evidence against them? Because quite frankly, that's illegal. You can't just seize someone on vague suspicion and rumor. That's not allowable here. Why do you have evidence of what Rivka has done or not done? If you have that evidence, I have no problem with this, but you can't just show up and with an army and demand that we hand over one of our people to satisfy your crucifixion complex.
I always admire someone that has the courage to speak about law to men with guns. And I agree, from what the point of view which you are standing, it's not being fair. However, you have to understand, if we get what we want from this criminal, we will diminish the losses on your community. A very thorough search of my men across the land, it will be very damaging, and not only for your own place. That this, he gives a side look at the mob. We'll also have to be looking into other places, and hopefully we don't find anything that has been decreed illegal by the Empress.
So this is the guy that Rivka, like, whose heart she broke. They broke, right? Yeah, I'm gonna use my matchmaking powers to see into his heart. I'm gonna use a strong move. Who or what do you secretly love? Just so we can get that knowledge public.
Yeah,
I think I'm
Zelda.
gonna, yeah, Zelda's gonna step up like behind Ephraim. She's just been there the entire time, looking like shooting daggers at this guy through her eyes, and she says, "Well, that's all fine and good, and Mr. Soldier, but I feel like there's something you're not telling us. You're very passionate about our little shadow here. It's almost like you have a hidden interest in someone or something that belongs with our people. Why are you so adamant to have Rivka being delivered to your open arms?"
Uh, and he seems flustered at that. I don't see how that is any business of you, woman. We are talking about murder, criminal matters. What are you bringing out about? What other motive there could be? And for Zelda, it's quite apparent the motivations behind his actions.
No, actually, she raises a good point. If you have ulterior motives, that really undermines your authority here. Do you really wish to rule only by savagery and gun and be dishonest to the people around you? Goad Zelda
I'm
here
sure.
to keep going.
I'm sure your subordinates would not be too happy to know that they're just like putting their lives on the line for you to fulfill the petty wishes of your little black heart.
So, as the captain is losing that and is being pressured in doing something stupid to take control, he looks to Ephraim and he says, "Would you accept coming to terms that are reasonable for all the subjects of the Empress if it was one of my subordinates to handle this matter? Or will you too call their willingness to see order restored properly like you did to myself?"
Do we want this to resolve cleanly, or do we want there to be some... Because there's a few ways we can handle this, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have no ideas where to bring this home now, actually.
You were gonna say something, Walter?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of wondering if maybe we want to like maybe there's some way we can move this scene into like a new scene to like, I mean, what might it look like to resolve this? Is there like one big question that we want to answer at this point? We probably have time for like just one more scene in the game, right?
I think I just want to answer about the wolf cub more than anything with the mob. I just kind of want to diffuse the tension here somehow and get to that question.
I think we can get a bittersweet compromise that we managed to disperse this, but Ephraim has to accept the compromise, and we end up having the lieutenant and a few men on the shuttle as the compromise for not allowing this to escalate.
Now, did it come in that the Russians were framed for killing Herschel? Did that come up at all?
Not
Or
yet.
did we? Okay. If that was going to come up, maybe that's like a connection because Herschel was the father of the wolf pup. Maybe like maybe this Captain Zavelli would wants to like investigate this murder that's been pinned on a Russian, and then we can move to like that final scene from there, and Zavelli could be in it. Maybe, I don't know.
But I think we just got Sally out of the way with
Okay.
exposing him for being enamored with Rivka.
I think the string that we can pull to kind of tie this together is why was this wolf cub born? What happened with Herschel and Golda, and how was the murder carried out by the unseen world? Because I feel like that's kind of what really happened, is that we had an unseen world thing going on there, but I don't know if that's how everyone else wants to deal with it.
Okay, yeah. So we could just keep them two separate things. That's probably simpler.
Okay, so I think Ephraim should be the one wrapping this scene, and then we move on to the next one.
Yeah. And then, so Ephraim will eventually acquiesce to having a couple, 2 soldiers on premises, and they cannot bring their guns. They will be adamant about that, and they will not allow armed men into the shuttle uncontested.
Yeah, and then we get to see Zelda and Ephraim going in the company of Lieutenant Irina and another soldier. Now, Walter, tie us together to the unseen world.
No pressure. Let's see. All right. Well, I'm definitely open to suggestions from other people.
Maybe it doesn't have to be the unseen world right now. Maybe like I like that idea of the Wolf Cup playing with the relics.
Okay, I think we can open up in. We go back to. To Golda and the Wolf Cup, and we see them in the synagogue, and Golda is cradling the Wolf Cup, and she's whispering to the Wolf Cub, "Little one, I don't know who your mother is, if it is a demoness, spirit, or if I am your mother. But as I was there, lamenting myself, feeling sorry for myself, I realized I'm not alone. I have you, I have our people, and it's the same for you." And she puts the wolf cub next to the relics. These are the toys of all the children that came before you. They played with these, they shared their joy, they shared their labors, and they mended when they broke and tried to leave something better to the generations next. Well, I might not be your mother, but this place is your family. You belong here, with us, one way or another. I don't care what they say.
And Tova is there and enters and sees the wolf pup and Golda playing with the toys, and Tova says, "Oh, these are such important toys. All of my children have played with them. I still remember the first time I brought Merle here to play with them, and how she connected with them so much. It is your child," says Tova, looking at the pup. "Your child is like any other child. Look how playful it is." Golda, tell me, how are you feeling now? How so much has happened to you?
I don't know. I feel, in a way, renewed. I had a place in this community as a spouse, as a mother, but I feel like I have another calling here. and I'm at peace at this. There's another way I can serve our community, our people. I'm looking forward to it now.
That is, you have such a noble heart, Golda. It's you are inspiration.
I think are you two gonna go on?
No. I was going to make an ask a question out of place. So go ahead.
I think this is the point where Zelda, Ephraim, and the rest of the group that's moving around the statue walks into the synagogue because they heard Tova go in there with Golda.
I was going to ask if this would be a good opportunity for Merle to come back.
I feel like we're close to wrapping up. I don't think we really need to add Merle at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm I don't know. I don't know that we're I mean, for Merle I agree. I'm not sure what to do with the wolf pup, honestly. I feel like it's maybe just a supernatural strangeness that maybe it's just there. I'm not sure. I think we would have to introduce something new before we could really resolve anything at this point. Or does somebody else feel something different?
No, I think that's fine.
I have a move, actually. I can change the opinion of the statue about something. I could convince everyone that the Wolf Club is a blessing, actually. That it's a sign that the statue has been meant for great things.
Yeah, and I did want to also use a move here too that goes along with that, even without that suggestion, was to admit wrongdoing and ask for forgiveness from both Golda and Tova. So.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good way to tie it up. I feel like that that's a good place to go.
So who enters the scene now?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we all do, like the me and Ephraim and the two soldiers, possibly Rivka if they tagged along. I don't know where Rivka is right now.
I think Grift will show up smelling suspicious of gunpowder.
Yeah, and I think we can have like that more people that we're just kind of not naming in the background are coming into the synagogue as well. So like, if you want, Merle can just kind of show up in this background. She doesn't really even interact with you yet, but she's there. She did come back, but we don't kind of see that. We just see that as like, this is the moment where the community kind of comes together again, maybe. So like, we don't have her at the forefront, but you can still have her there if you want.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe it's actually to kind of set the scene a little bit more. Maybe there's like, after the mob has dispersed, but everybody in the shtetl was like very, aware of what was going on, and tensions were really high, and then people relaxed as the mob dispersed. And then the rumor started going around that, oh, the wolf pup is playing with the toys, with the relics. And like kind of everybody came in to watch this wolf pup playing with the relics, and everyone is now like gathered for that moment.
Yeah. That's really good. And I also think there's a way to tie this in as well to tradition and holy ceremony. Something done traditionally for newborns is a bris. And this could be that celebration where we kind of just, like the rabbi kind of starts bringing everybody together. We are going to have a bris for this baby. It is a baby in our community. And that's kind of how all of this ties together, maybe. Does that work for y'all?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, we use that move for that, yeah. We close in on tradition.
And I think Zelda amps that up by like just making comments that make people accept that this is happening. Like the Wolf Cub is one of our own, and we are going to perform a bris on it, and it's going to be part of our community now.
Yeah, and any lingering tensions. Rivka takes the lead and starts singing some of the hymns. That's how they started practicing songs, and starts to lead the community on these hymns, and through song and sharing, they realize that the fears in their heart is the work of the demon, not the wolf cub.
I love that so much.
Okay.
Like the guide, like see this. Like part of them are impressed, like they like that we have this holy cub among us, but some of them just use it as another reason to treat us as aliens, basically.
Guess that's a wrap.
I wasn't expecting this when we started. I'm very happy with where it ended up.
Me neither. So I'll stop the transmission, then we can go to Roses and Thorns.